After returning from her first space mission, an astronaut is placed under NASA's care at a high-security house for rehabilitation and medical testing. However, when disturbing occurrences begin happening around the property, she fears that something extraterrestrial has followed her back to Earth. Before we dive deeper into this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the next thrilling recap. Your support keeps this channel alive. In the middle of a vast ocean, a rescue operation unfolds. A helicopter circles above while 3 motorboats cut through the waves toward a NASA capsule that has crashed into the water. Inside lies astronaut Sam, who is quickly pulled from the wreckage and lifted onto one of the boats. The team speeds away, rushing her to a nearby hospital. Hours later, Sam opens her eyes, disoriented and weak. On a tray beside her bed, a pen hovers in the air. Surprised, she reaches for it, but before she can touch it, several doctors enter the room. When she looks back, the pen is resting on the tray as if it had never moved. Sam suddenly feels sick and leans over to vomit. The doctors reassure her that it's a common effect after returning from space. They begin a series of questions to test her mental state, and she tells them about what she saw. They explain that anti-gravity hallucinations often occur after re-entry. Examining her swollen hand, they confirm it isn't broken, just injured during the landing. Curious about the crash, the doctors ask her to recall the event. Sam explains that she had received coordinates from Mission Control, and everything appeared normal. But then, something unexpected struck her capsule. The doctors reveal that an object pierced the capsule and cracked her helmet. They suspect it was meteorite debris and are already analyzing the particles found on her suit. Later, Sam's family visits. Her husband Mark and their daughter Izzy stand behind a glass wall, unable to touch her due to quarantine restrictions. Her father, William, arrives as well, bringing news that the Pentagon will be joining NASA's investigation. Strange frequencies were detected during her descent, and they want answers. William tells her a government-owned house has been arranged for her recovery, far from the public eye. Their brief reunion ends when a doctor arrives to escort her for more tests. Days later, a convoy escorts her to a secluded government house surrounded by empty land. Dr. Michelle welcomes her and gives a tour, explaining that the property once served as a weapons testing site in the 1950 centuries, later converted into diplomatic housing. Outside stands a telescope, meant to help her feel connected to space again. When Sam looks through it, a piercing screech fills her ears. She sees flashes of unfamiliar memories, visions that make her stumble back. Michelle steadies her, assuring her that such symptoms are normal and part of recovery. She warns Sam to expect headaches, nosebleeds, and possible hallucinations, emphasizing that she must stay focused if she hopes to return to work after her 2-month assessment. Once the medical team leaves, Sam takes her temperature, though it shows no fever. She unwraps the bandage on her hand and finds a deep purple bruise spreading across her skin. As she begins unpacking her belongings, a sudden nosebleed forces her to stop. She walks into the kitchen for a cloth just as her best friend Val calls through video chat. The two talk briefly, but Sam suddenly freezes mid-conversation, staring out the window toward the backyard. Val calls her name repeatedly until Sam blinks, apologizing that she thought she saw something. She moves to another room. After the video chat, Val advises Sam to minimize her symptoms during her next evaluations so she can be cleared to return to work. When the call ends, the lights in the house begin to flicker, followed by a loud thud echoing from another room. Sam walks down the hallway to investigate. On the floor, she finds rainwater and mud scattered across the tiles, a chair lying on its side, and the back door wide open, swinging slightly in the night air. She steps outside, approaching the telescope once again. Through the lens, she scans the dark woods surrounding the property. Something stirs in the distance, but before she can focus, it vanishes. Holding her flashlight, she moves into the forest, stopping near the spot where she saw the movement. The same sound that haunted her before returned to her hearing. Her vision bursts into fragments of light, revealing strange figures walking through smoke around a crash site. The next morning, when she wakes up, her bandage is missing, and the bruise on her hand has spread further up her arm. In the kitchen, while preparing breakfast, an egg slowly floats above the counter. She reaches out and gently taps it, watching it floats in midair. When she releases it, the egg remains suspended. Moments later, the medical team arrives for her daily checkup, and as soon as they enter, the egg falls and shatters on the counter. The rest of the morning is filled with medical evaluations. Sam undergoes several physical and endurance tests. During one of the exercises, she feels a sharp pain shoot through her foot, but brushes it off as a simple cramp. When the tests conclude, She lies on the couch with ice packs pressed against the aching parts of her body. Michelle apologizes for how intense the procedures have been, assuring her that the data collected is invaluable for the program. She asks Sam if she has noticed any new symptoms, and Sam calmly insists she's been fine. When the team leaves, Sam calls Mark. She tells him she wants to take a family trip once her recovery is complete. Mark disagrees, saying Izzy shouldn't see them together if they're on the verge of separating. Sam's voice softens, saying they're still trying to figure things out. Mark reminds her how difficult things have been since her mission. She was gone for months training, then isolated in space, and he knows she'll volunteer for another mission the moment she's cleared. Sam pleads with him, saying their family means everything to her, that she wants Izzy to have the kind of home she never had. Later that day, Sam takes a walk through the woods surrounding her house. She heard the screeching sound again. Gripping her head, she's overcome by another wave of visions she has been seeing. When the noise finally stops, she looks down and spots a cable running beneath the leaves. She started, brushing the dirt aside until she finds a rock glowing faintly with light. Lifting it, she discovers it's hollow, hiding a small surveillance camera underneath. Alarmed, she searches the ground and finds another cable leading to a second false rock with another camera inside. She begins to make her way back toward the house, but her foot catches on a tree root. She stumbles, hits her head, and everything goes dark. When she regains consciousness, Sam finds herself lying in bed. Her hair is sticky with blood. As she tries to focus, the door creaks open, and a man steps inside. He tells her she was found unconscious outside with a serious head injury, so they brought her back inside for treatment. When Sam asks who the man is, she's surprised to see her father, William. He explains that when he arrived and found the house empty, he called a search team, worried something might have happened to her. Sam confronts him about the hidden cameras around the property, and William admits that he hadn't disclosed every detail about the house to NASA. He explains that he didn't think she would go exploring that far. William leads Sam downstairs and reveals a secret door hidden behind the living room furniture. Beyond it lies a stairway that descends deeper beneath the house. As they move down the corridor, William explains that the building was designed decades ago as a safe house for government officials who needed to disappear temporarily. In the back room stands a central system powered by an independent energy source. William activates the main console and shows Sam the network of cameras surrounding the house. He tells her that, in an emergency, the system automatically seals the building under 3 layers of reinforced material, the hardest ever developed. When they leave the bunker, the monitors in the control room begin to flicker and distort without warning. After William departs, Sam checks her hand and notices that the dark bruise has now spread up her arm. Concerned, she takes a picture and sends it to Val. A few minutes later, Val replies, telling her to just ice the injury and not worry too much. That evening, Sam relaxes in the outdoor jacuzzi, but suddenly everything falls silent. Before she can react, the wind returns abruptly, rattling the trees. Uneasy, Sam leaves the jacuzzi and goes inside to call Mark, but the call goes straight to voicemail. As she lowers her phone, the lights begin to flicker again. She grabs a flashlight and steps onto the balcony to check outside. The woods stand still in the distance. Seeing nothing unusual, she turns back inside, only for the lights to go out completely. For a brief moment, a monstrous figure materializes in the doorway before vanishing as quickly as it appeared. When the lights return, Sam forces herself to open the door and look outside. She locks the door again and activates the house alarm system before heading to her bedroom. But just as she turns down the hallway, the automated voice echoes through the speakers, announcing a breach. The house quickly went on lockdown, sealing her inside. Sam's phone loses its signal, leaving her isolated. Moments later, a low growl echoes from the next room. She moves downstairs as the unseen creature rushes past her in the dark. Desperate, Sam runs to the control switches, pressing them repeatedly, but the systems won't respond. The exit remains locked. Suddenly, the doorknob in the living room begins to twist on its own. After a tense pause, she gathers her courage and opens the door. A plant near the window shakes violently, startling her so badly that she drops the flashlight. She grabs it again and shines the beam toward the window, only to see a pale, disfigured hand press against the glass. She screams and bolts downstairs, opening the secret entrance and rushing into the bunker's control center. The monitors flicker erratically, showing only static until she manages to restore the feed. One of the cameras finally stabilizes, revealing a dark shape crouched on the grass outside. Hours later, Sam is startled awake by the sound of her phone ringing. She realizes she must have fallen asleep at the control desk. She rushes upstairs to find William and a small team already in the living room. She tells him that something is wrong with the generator. William confirms they detected blackouts during the night and sends his team to check the systems. Sam tries to explain that something entered the house, but William promises to review the surveillance footage. When Michelle arrives to conduct more tests, she examines Sam's arm and notes that the bruise looks abnormal, promising to schedule X-rays for further analysis. Later, Mark and Izzy arrive to visit. While William takes Izzy to show her around the garden, Sam and Mark walk into the woods to talk privately. Sam confides that she saw something not of this world and fears she may have brought an alien presence back with her by transmitting signals into deep space. Before Mark can respond, Izzy runs up to them, interrupting the moment. Back inside, Sam joins her father in front of the security monitors. They rewind the footage from the night before. At the exact moment, she saw the creature. No creature appears on screen. William insists that the stress of the crash and her isolation are affecting her perception. He tells her to rest and heads upstairs. Left alone, Sam orders the system to scan for active life forms within the house. The results show 9 human presences, matching her, William's team, and her family. The following morning, Sam, Mark, and Izzy take a quiet walk through the woods. For the first time in a long while, Mark shows her a trace of warmth. Suddenly, a strange noise echoes through the forest, and the family realizes that Izzy is missing. Panic sets in as they search frantically, calling out her name until she suddenly appears behind them holding a dead bug in her hand. Before they can react, every insect in the forest begins screeching, and one crashes into a tree, startling them into running back toward the house. The sound grows louder and more disturbing, as thousands of bugs burst out from the woods, filling the sky in a dark swarm. The family rushes inside and watches in horror as the insects cover every window, blocking out the sunlight completely. Moments later, the noise fades. When they look outside, the bugs have died, covering the ground and windows with a thick, sticky residue. Soon, a cleaning team arrives, removing the mess, while a NASA officer suggests it may have been caused by an environmental issue. Sam asks about the results from the test on her capsule, but the labs still have nothing. Mark leaves with Izzy, promising to return that evening. Alone again, Sam feels something strange in her foot. When she removes her shoe, she finds her toe bleeding. She rushes to the bathroom, washes it, and realizes the wound runs up her leg. As she touches her toe, the nail detaches, causing her to scream in pain. After bandaging her foot, she places ice on her bruised arm, but then the lights begin to flicker. She pushes a table against the back door and searches online for any incidents involving the bugs. She learns that geomagnetic disturbances might be linked to UFO activity and abductions, and the images she finds show people with bruises identical to hers. Feeling something moving on her back, she hurries to the mirror and discovers more bruising spreading across her shoulder blade. When the lights flicker again, she activates the alarm and runs downstairs. Strange noises echo throughout the house. Her phone rings. Mark is on his way, but their call grows distorted. Sam asks him if she was a good mother, leaving him confused before the signal cuts out. The house AI suddenly announces a security breach and initiates lockdown. Metal barriers slide into place, sealing her inside. She runs to the stairs leading to the bunker, but a sudden pain in her back sends her tumbling down. On the floor, she reaches behind her and feels a strange, jelly-like substance oozing from her skin. Her phone is broken. Above, she hears the same noises growing closer. Racing to the control room, she checks the security cameras, but nothing appears on the screens. When she initiates a scan, the system detects another presence inside the house. The monitors glitch violently, and a dark shape flickers into view, a creature standing inside the living room. Panicked, Sam shuts off the feed. Another scan follows, revealing 2 additional entities on the upper floor. She presses a series of buttons, triggering the ceiling vents to release smoke. Then she rushes to the kitchen, only to hear footsteps and scraping nearby. She hides behind a counter and spots the reflection of a monster on the oven's surface. It moves past her without noticing. As she inches toward the door, another creature enters, forcing her to freeze. When it leaves, she bolts into the hallway and hides inside a bathroom, barricading the door with furniture. Her bruised hand begins to burn. She unwraps the bandage and sees her skin coated in a translucent, pulsing film. The pounding on the door grows louder. Sam slips into the shower and spots a vent above. She kicks it open, crawling through the narrow passage between the walls. Outside, Mark and Izzy arrive, finding the house under lockdown. Mark leaves the car to investigate, while Izzy notices a strange glow in the distance. Back inside, Sam crawls through the vent and descends to a corridor, but one of the creatures grabs her leg. She kicks it loose and continues forward, her glowing wounds lighting the dark space. Eventually, she reaches a ladder and climbs through a hatch, emerging in the forest. As she runs, the lights from her body pulse brighter. Meanwhile, William arrives with a team of armed men. He orders them to move carefully, warning that whatever they are facing is highly intelligent. The soldiers sweep the property, while William discovers the destroyed bunker below. In the forest, Sam collapses to the ground as the sounds draw closer. Trembling, she pleads for mercy. A tall creature approaches and gently lifts her chin, gazing at her. It speaks in a language unknown to humans, yet Sam understands every word. More figures emerge from the shadows. The first one steps closer and tells her that they have missed her. When she asks who they are, the creature tells her they are her family. Confused, she allows it to rest its forehead against hers, unlocking a flood of memories. She remembers the truth: she isn't human. Years ago, her alien family crash landed on Earth, and William's military team hunted them down. In the chaos, Sam was separated from the others. Using a device to hide her true appearance, she transformed into a human child. When William found her, he adopted her, unaware of her full identity. Her family has been searching for her ever since, knowing that her disguise would eventually fail. They were the ones who interfered with her return capsule, trying to bring her home. Now, as Mark and Izzy arrive, they find Sam surrounded by the glowing beings. Izzy stares in disbelief at her mother's transformed body, but Sam reassures her that everything is all right. William steps forward, revealing that he has always known what she was. He admits that he guided her into becoming an astronaut and sent her on that mission as bait to lure the others back. He orders Sam to make the alien surrender, but she refuses. When William raises his gun, Mark tackles him to the ground, fighting to protect her. Sam's camouflage fades completely, revealing her true alien form. With soldiers approaching, Mark begs her to leave. Izzy reaches out one last time, and Sam gently touches her hand before turning away. She joins her alien family, their luminous bodies rising together into the air. Moments later, a blinding light fills the forest as their ship ascends into the sky, leaving Earth behind. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more thrilling stories like this.